you'd have spent all that money sitting that boy up to the private school, and they'd have took every book about a Negro out of there. They took a book about Sojourner the Truthers. They took out Moses. Not even
Maya Angelou.
Not even in the room. They don't even have
Maya Angelou.
She's not even in there. That's just wrong.
Let's talk about Joe's College Road Trip, the latest entry from Tyler Perry, now streaming on Netflix. In this one, Perry gives us a spin-off from his long-running Medea universe, but instead of Medea herself taking center stage, it's her loud, unfiltered brother, Joe Simmons, a character we've all heard before, but one we've never really seen carry an entire film. The basic setup is this. Joe's adult son, Brian, who's also played by Perry, realizes he's maybe gone too far in sheltering his kid. His son, BJ, played by Jermaine Harris, is about to head off to college and has basically zero clue about his own cultural history or what it means to be Black in America. Medea suggests, or insists, that Joe take BJ on a cross-country road trip to visit potential colleges. Sounds wholesome, right? Well, what starts as college touring quickly shifts into a wild tour of life, culture, conflict, and celebration, with Joe dragging his grandson through biker bars, bar fights, a brothel, all peppered with Joe's crass wisdom. Before we dive in, please drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your post notifications so you never miss any of my videos. Let's get into what people liked about the movie first, because there was definitely a lot of love for it. A lot of fans really enjoyed just how unapologetically Joe is. He's crude, loud, foul-mouthed, stubborn, and hilariously inappropriate. And for many viewers, that was exactly the point. If you've seen him in previous Medea movies, you know what you're signing up for. And for folks who expected that kind of comedy, those jokes landed.
You're drinking?
Yeah,
Why?
because I'm driving.
There were viewers saying they laughed through most of the movie, that Joe and BJ had great chemistry, that the banter felt natural, and that it was a refreshing throwback to those raunchy road comedies of the 2000s, only with a cultural spin. It also gave room for smaller but memorable roles. The character Destiny, played by Amber Rain Smith, ended up being a highlight for many. People loved that her arc offered more nuance than just being comic relief, and that her own story helped BJ start seeing the world differently. Even people who weren't huge fans of the movie still pointed out that the heart of the story, a grumpy grandpa teaching a sheltered kid about life, is something that resonates. There were plenty of nods to the emotional beats, where Joe finally admits he's proud of Brian and BJ, even if he can't say it without a joke or two. So yes, there are moments of real impact here. Moments when you feel like you're getting something deeper than just gross-out humor. Some social media threads even called it educational for Black History Month, pointing out that the road trip unfolds against settings rooted in real Black history and culture.
You don't even know what to talk about, but if you don't even understand where you at right now.
Now, let's pivot to the critics and the audience members who didn't love it. First off, the raunchiness wasn't just a backdrop. It's everywhere. The language is persistent and very explicit. This isn't a PG-13 Medea movie where risque moments are sprinkled in for laughs. This is full-on adult humor, and for viewers not tuned into that style, the cussing and crude jokes felt excessive, unnatural, or even forced. Multiple people online mentioned that certain scenes were so profane or uncomfortable that it undercut the humor for them. Along those lines, some folks felt the film's rough edges didn't serve the greater message well. Specifically, even though the movie tries to weave in meaningful stops and lessons about Black heritage, like visiting significant historical sites or having conversations about identity and past struggles, for some viewers, that threaded message felt diluted by the shock value gags. There were comments saying that the history elements were there, but they weren't always delivered in a way that felt organic or impactful. Like the movie didn't trust the audience to absorb the lessons without piling on the raunchiness. And then there's character logic. Some people on Reddit pointed out that BJ's ignorance about things like historically black colleges or key cultural moments wasn't just unbelievable. It felt like a contrivance to set up jokes rather than a credible character flaw. Other viewers were turned off by how Joe's outdated attitudes, including sexist language and questionable decision-making, are sometimes celebrated rather than critiqued. So, yeah, the comedy style and tone swings were polarizing. Audiences that love Tyler Perry's brand of broad humor were into it, and those who don't, not so much.
How the hell a fat-ass white man gonna get down the chimney in a black neighborhood? First of all, I wanna know how the motherfucker gonna get in the neighborhood when nobody knows him in a damn red suit. When we grew up, that mother would have been robbed.
Now here's where things get interesting. People often miss how much story there actually is between the laughs. The core theme that a lot of reviewers and viewers pointed to is this idea that heritage and history matter for identity, especially when someone has been raised in a setting where race is downplayed to the point of being invisible. BJ's journey is really about realizing that there's a depth of culture, struggle, triumph, and lived experience behind the surface of his own life. Throughout their trip, the movie places the characters, and therefore the audience, in contexts that mirror real historical backdrops. It was shot in places like Memphis, Tennessee, including scenes outside the National Civil Rights Museum in downtown Memphis, and in cities like Clarksdale, Mississippi, locations that are real-world touchstones of Black history, music, resistance, and culture. Some reviews go even further, calling out specific kinds of moments the film evokes, like sites tied to the Emmett Till story or the Lorraine Motel where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, which in the real world are foundational to understanding the modern civil rights movement and the Black experience in America. Through Joe's loud coaching and often over-the-top antics, the movie is actually trying to sit BJ and us down with that history. So even if a lot of viewers walk away talking about the foul language or wild stops, there is a deeper arc here about connection to roots, accountability, resilience, and empathy for the collective past. It's just wrapped in a package that not everyone will appreciate or even notice at first glance.
Emmett Till was this 14-year-old Black kid killed by some racist white man because some white lady lied and said he whistled at her. And they dumped his body in that creek you're standing in front of.
At the end of the day, Joe's College Road Trip is exactly what it advertises. A loud, unruly comedy with a heart buried somewhere in the chaos. If you go in expecting a subtle, quiet film, you're going to walk out feeling like you crashed an R-rated carnival ride. But if you're open to the wild humor, the generational sparring, and the sometimes surprising emotional beats, there's something here, both funny and meaningful, that keeps people talking long after the credits roll.
That's a come and get in the damn car.
And before you go, if you've seen Joe's College Road Trip, I really want to know where you landed on it. Did Joe have you cracking up the whole time? Or were you side-eyeing the screen, wondering who let him say all that? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.